construction industry in America is the largest waste producing industry on the planet.
And our mission is to, keep materials out of landfills. We constantly look at what the waste is and what other opportunities for recycling are in that. And, that's always presenting new challenges.
On a 2,000 square foot home, you could be pulling out like 2 tons of wood waste, 2 tons of drywall waste.
And unfortunately, the machine, if you will, but all the brain power and energy in, the 70s and 80s was all about how do we get waste material to the landfill as efficiently as possible. And that was a big philosophy, culture, machine to turn around.
My name's Avi Golan. I'm from Philadelphia originally, and 32 years old.
John Wybar, 33 years old, was born in Seattle, Washington, moved to Kent, England, and Philadelphia since 4th grade. We heard that a lot, like, oh, you're never gonna get these construction crews to change, these guys I can't get them to clean up, and you've got, your project managers, your superintendents, your laborers, and I found going out in the field that that was our perception and concern, and I'd go and talk to laborers who were recycling for the first time on job sites, and I was like, how's this going? And they're like, I love it. Be like, you should see how many dumpsters I've filled up during my days. This is great. We can finally recycle it. Like, I have kids too, and in here, each dumpster, or about a dumpster and a half, about 5 tons of material is a full-time job. It's a full day's work.
Full day's work for one person.
Whereas at your traditional trash transfer station, about 200 tons might be a full-time job, or maybe, maybe it's 100 tons. So that would be your 20 to 1. That is, it's just a key point. We are combing through this material, and I mean, that is just here at this facility. Then all these products we send out go on to local businesses, that in turn create more jobs. By some estimates, recycling is 10 times the number of jobs than landfill disposal. That's what politicians will throw out, and for our industry, we think even higher, 20 just here.
This is a perfect example actually right here. Most people when they look at that, they see mixed waste and like we see commodities. So what we're looking at here is, there's a bunch of drywall, pallets, plastic, metal, like all mixed in right here, This is a load where initially, John and I would hand sort something like this. So literally take the drywall, throw it to one side, take the wood, throw it. And this is when we're saying like, this would take us, a couple hours probably to sort this one load. But when we were done with this, what actually needed to go to the landfill could fit in a trash bag. And this is, a full 30-yard dumpster's worth of material.
A family friend of mine was a superintendent for a large construction company and went to work basically cleaning up after contractors. And that's when I saw, had my first experience with like the amount of waste that was being generated, and saw, that this stuff, it didn't smell and wasn't, it was really clean, and what can what can be done with it? I was trying to figure out like what else other than just taking it to the dump. So I started looking around online and seeing what other people were doing. I found that there were businesses that did exist sorting this material, but that's when I really started focusing on drywall, because I saw just the amount of drywall that there was. We worked with one construction company very closely who was building the first LEED certified projects in the Philadelphia area, and because of that and because of the requirement to recycle, we were given a chance to take in some material and have our go at sorting this stuff to keep it out of landfills.
The last 5 years at LEED and green building has had dramatic, impact and huge changes, but we have so far to go. We're just scratching at the surface.
This is where, like, you know, the scrap metal and the products like this is like where you talk about, like, to mine and extract, this is all steel. So to make this new by blasting iron to get it, compared to just pulling it out of the trash, this is when we're talking about really preserving the embodied energy. I mean, it's nuts, all day long.
But I think that the green building movement is pushing, you know, obviously, if we can reduce first, let's do that. And then after that, you know, reuse and recycle. In 2004, 2005, a majority of what we were doing was just LEED certified projects. Now it's way less than half. Now most of our clients don't know, or they may know that we're recycling, but they don't. It's not something, you know, that they're keenly aware of. We're just, you know, we compete on price and service. We compete with the landfill. We compete with regular disposal. So, you know, people who are buying on price and service, and from a, you know, business perspective, they don't know that we're keeping the material out of the landfill.
Yeah, so that bunker will literally get taken, dumped in there, and then it'll make a cardboard bale like that. And that's probably like 3 bales or so. So you dump your material in here, and it squishes it. Comes back, you put more in, squishes it. Comes back, put more in, squishes it. Until it's got enough pressure, then another ram shoots the bale out like that.
And then a cube will spit out there.
I was giving a presentation, teaching a class at Philadelphia University for graduate students, and one of the students came up afterwards and was doing her thesis on how to bring awareness to sustainable issues through art, and or awareness to recycling through art. And I thought that it was a really great idea, but from a business perspective, I really didn't see how to tie it into what we were doing. We always, since we started the business, had artists showing up at the gate, asking if they could take this or that once they heard about what we were doing. And then it was like, you'd show up on a Saturday and there'd be 3 people waiting there, like, can I grab that piece of wood, or can I have that And it was always like, yeah, you know, absolutely, you can take it if you're gonna reuse it, for sure. And one time an artist showed up, and you know, I had no idea who he was, and basically was really just came over to say he was so happy with what we were doing. And I called the girl who, you know, from the presentation I gave, and I said, you should really meet this guy. I don't know anything about him, but he's an artist, and he really, you know, loves what we're doing, and maybe there's some synergy. Turns out the artist was Billy Dufala, was an up-and-coming, is an up-and-coming, him and his brother Stevan are up-and-coming Philadelphia artists. And he just really, you know, he's a sculptor, and he was just so excited about making stuff from material that came into our yard. So Fern Gukin, we hired her on full-time because we thought she was talented and we could use her in the business, obviously. We also gave her the freedom to run with Rare. And because of that collaboration, she was able to get a grant, and we were you know, building an art studio at the recycling facility for Billy to produce work. And then Billy is turning it into how can he grab other artists, you know, and pilot basically the artist in residency program. And he's been doing a great job with it. We've had several artists through. Really cool work has come out of this recycling facility. We didn't have any money for furniture, and it came in all the time, so that's it. I mean, and it just kind of, that's how we, you know, and we joke all the time, like if someone in our office wants something, like they're like, I really need a desk for this, we're like, give it 2 days. And within 2 to 3 days, a desk comes in.
This literally came in the other day, and it all works. You know, it's office furniture.
We had pallets of paper come in. Yeah, blank, you know, copy paper, off printer paper. So that's great, because that stuff's really expensive. So we get, you know, we use that.
We believe very much in the community, and we want to keep building materials out of landfills. We want to, you know, create jobs. We want to create feedstock and material for other companies and businesses, and do right by, you know, our community and our planet. I think that this is a no-brainer. If we can give them, you know, comparable service and price, then of course, who doesn't want their materials being recycled?
Yeah, and so, you know, that's the goal, is to keep looking at this pile and see, you know, what are we missing?